Hey, Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated Civil War II, issue number 0. That's right, guys. This is a book that's highly anticipated for a lot of comic book readers out there, as probably most of us have read the original Civil War title, and we can't wait to see what this story is going to be about this time around. And if you've read the free Comic Book Day preview, you got to see some heavy shit going on in that particular issue. Now, we're one away from the story really getting underway, uh, and issue 0 provides some great character information. If you wanted to know what these characters are doing, what their personalities are about, this issue is for you, and you can see that these characters are going to be the major players in this event. So this book is written by Brian Michael Bendis, and the artwork is done by Oliver Coipel. The artwork is absolutely flawless in this issue. It is so gorgeous. She-Hulk is my favorite Marvel character. I love her personality. I love what she does. She's strong. She's smart. She's sexy. She's classy. She's all those things. And I love her character, especially in this particular book. The way she's drawn, this is the way Jennifer Walters should be drawn. When I see her drawn in her own individual series that was done last year, I couldn't read it because that's just not the character. War Machine absolutely looks awesome in here as well. And then you get to see him without the armor as well, and he looks great. So there's just a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the characters. The facial expressions in here are awesome. And so I fell in love with this art. It was absolutely perfect for me, especially this page. This was like my favorite panel in here with, yes, She-Hulk, of course. She's got the shades on and the hair just blowing in the wind. I was just like laughing at that. That was pretty cool. All right, so now that I'm gawking over She-Hulk all day, let's talk about this story. Was it any good? Do you need to pick up Civil War issue number 0? And I'll give you my final thoughts on it. So basically, in this book, it's all about really, like I said earlier, it's the major players in what's going to be going on, I think, in this story. And She-Hulk is in this book, and you get to see what she does for a living. Now, in a lot of titles, we haven't seen her in too much action of her being in the courtroom. And we get to see her do that here. And I thought the way she was written and the way she handled her case, it was absolutely awesome. And you get to see her defending a former villain known as Jonathan Powers the Jester. And you get to see her handle that case. And here we get to see Rhodey meet up with the actual president. And we find out that the president is offering him a new position and wants to eventually have him go and become president again. And it was just like, wow, that's pretty high honor right there, you know. And I thought that was really nice. So it's really giving you a catch up on what's going on with the characters in this point in time in their lives. And then we go into the whole situation with Ohio State. So this is the Inhuman aspect of the book, and we get to see just some random kids at Ohio State University waiting for the Terrigen Mist to come. They wanted to see this cloud. And the one thing I didn't like about this issue was the Terrigen Mist thing. This thing has been flying around the United States or the world forever and forever, but it's flying around and it goes over a whole bunch of kids, and then you wind up seeing them get cocooned. Okay, so now you're seeing the Inhumans form that are going to be in this series as well. And it's probably the Inhuman that you saw in the free comic book day issue, the one that time travels or sees the future. We also get to see a little bit of Captain Marvel in here, and you get to see that she's part of, yes, if you haven't read the series, Alpha Flight. And a character that I felt that we haven't seen in a long time makes his appearance in this book, and it is Doc Samson. He talks to Captain Marvel, and they have this really intense conversation about how Captain Marvel wants to stop things before they get so close to actually destroying the world and whatnot. And you can feel that the pressure is mounting on Captain Marvel to do something different than waiting for the heroes to be the last resort. And it's funny because Doc Samson, I loved him here in this book because he's so much in character, and he's like treating it as this session, you know, listening to her thoughts and whatnot. And she's like, "Are you seriously like you're Doc Samsoning me right now, aren't you?" And I love that moment in the book because he's trying to understand where she's coming from. And so we get to see her situation develop there. Now in the book, we go back to She-Hulk, and what happens in here is we find out that Maria Hill winds up contacting her, and she finds out that she loses that case with the Jester, and something happens to the Jester later on, you know, in this discussion that I don't want to spoil that for you. But it hit She-Hulk pretty hard, and so as we get to the conclusion of this issue, we wind up seeing that the humans emerge from their cocoons, and then we wind up seeing the one that sees things in the future that was in the Free Comic Book Day issue. He sees the world in, yes, complete peril and destruction. And that is the end of the issue. What did I think about this book? I thought it was brilliant. I really loved it. It really broke down the major players of who's going to be in Civil War. It didn't overload you with a ton of information, and I just loved learning more about these characters. And this is what makes a comic really good. And that's where I felt Marvel has come away from on things. You know, we reboot universes and we just throw them out into these adventures, and they never really redevelop the characters or really have gotten new readers into these characters. And what Civil War does is it really does that. It really builds the character, revisits what Jennifer Walters does, and it shows her in action there. And we get to see Captain Marvel in her in just that pressure situation on what to do on being the defender of the earth there. And we just get to see, you know, new characters emerging, and I love that. And I loved how it broke it down character by character by character, and it didn't overwhelm you. It didn't even leave you with, you know, it left you with, yeah, a page of earth destruction, but it didn't leave you with this, you know, crazy thing at the end. I just loved it. The pacing of it was beautifully, and I loved how it flowed into each character, and I loved the artwork. It was really good, and it really got me excited for the first issue of Civil War 2. I had this very similar feeling when it came to Nova with Original Sin. I love this just as much as that. And overall, I thought it was a great book. So if you guys want a good story and you want to see these, which looks like going to be the more major players in Civil War 2, I would say go pick this book up. If you don't, then just wait to issue number 1 that's being released in June. So after this whole thing is all said and done, I'm going to give this one a 4.75 out of 5 stars. The only thing I'm not keen on is that whole Terrigen Mist thing still floating around the world. Besides that, it was great. So again, guys, leave me those comments below. Tell me what you thought of this issue. Did you like it as much as I did? Do you not care about Civil War? Are you over Marvel events? Are you over Marvel in general? And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline. Don't forget to check out all the others, great comic book reviews on here, our live shows, and all their other hauls as well. And fans, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and take care, guys. Bye.